Good morning. Good morning, brothers. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are all around the world. It is your dude, Mr. International Passport. Whew, how y'all doing, man? How y'all doing, brothers? Okay, first and foremost, please press a 1 in the live stream chat if y'all can hear me loud and clear. How is my audio? How is my audio? Okay, press a 1 in the live stream chat, please. In the building tonight, brothers. How's the audio, man? How's the audio? Yu-Gi-Oh! Master, Shaq Fu, Aussie. Can I get a couple more ones, please, to make sure my audio is good across the board? Need to make sure the connection is great here. So please make sure that y'all can confirm if y'all can hear me loud and clear, please. So pressing 1 in the live stream chat, Raphael Taylor, Jay Khan, awesome. So, brothers, as usual, huge thank you for the support over the past couple of years. I'm greatly appreciated for the channel. I'm happy that I do what I do, and I help out brothers via IT, travel intel, connect brothers with other brothers. We are changing lives here, so I'm happy as to what I do here. Shout out to those that have supported the channel over the past couple of years. Your support is greatly appreciated. I welcome aboard the new people. I accept and I embrace you with open arms. When you come in tonight, brothers, I'm going to ask you to please like the video. You got to support what I do. Likes are free, so please like the video. If you can donate via the super chats or PayPal, that would be greatly appreciated. Every donation counts. Okay, so please donate any way you can. Join the Patreon, of course, to get on the IT mentorship plan. You can join the platinum tier or the Passport Bros personal development. Passport Bros personal development. What the flip? Passport Bros personal development plan. Or, of course, brothers, just hit me up for IT consultations in my Calendly link, okay? Cop the merch too. That'd be greatly appreciated. And make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, join the Facebook group. I'll be, as you know, I'm posting a lot of South Korean intel. So let's get it cracking, man. Let's get it cracking. I'm in South Korea, okay? And in this stream, right, I don't want to speak about women at all. The woman part will come on a different stream. I want to make the stream more about, sorry, I want to make the stream, sorry, more about geopolitics and the way of life and just how functional South Korea as a country is. Okay. You know that I'm not happy with the conditions of brothers worldwide. We are the poorest, we are the most powerless, we are the most disrespected group of people on planet Earth. So over my time in South Korea so far, I've been observing, I've been taking notes because being a passport bro is more than just women. Women are great, but it's about building wealth, setting up new communities, building ourselves in a mental, financial, physical level as well, and career level too. In the West, South Korean culture has taken over. K-pop is a huge phenomenon. Korean dramas are everywhere on Netflix, on TV shows, on adverts, billboards. You can feel that, you know, the Korean soft power is definitely taking over the West. However, being in the West and being in South Korea itself are two different beasts. So I've experienced that kind of, you know, culture and power that's being projected in the West. But being in South Korea is a completely different beast. South Koreans have really taken over. Okay. This country is disgustingly developed. And I mean disgustingly in a good way. Okay. Same way you would call Michael Jordan disgustingly great or Lionel Messi disgustingly great. It means in a good way. Okay. There are some things here that I've noticed about South Korea and South Koreans that I see why they have reached the top of the pinnacle. For many years, right, Japan and South Korea have had a huge rivalry, and they still do. Rivalry in terms of economics, in terms of soft power, cultural power, who makes the best tech. In 2023, South Korea has blown Japan out of the water in every single way possible. And the way they've done so is something that I feel like, as passport bros, as brothers, I want us, right, to emulate what the South Koreans have done. And I want African countries, Caribbean countries, predominantly black so-called ranked countries to emulate their success. For some reason, right, I don't know what's going on, but the majority of black countries are just dysfunctional, right? Dysfunctional. And I'm at a point where, listen, okay, I'm black. People who watch my channel, majority are black. I want the best for brothers worldwide. Okay. But we cannot reach the top of the pinnacle, in my opinion, if we have no home base and our natural homelands, okay, are not doing well. Why do I say that? Point number one, okay, wealth. So being in South Korea, right, I have met British South Koreans. I have met American South Koreans. And you know what they tell me? Okay. I have moved to South Korea to live here, make money here, and start a new life here. Those are very easy words that can come out of a Western South Korean person. So, why do I want to bring up this topic in the first place? Okay. Number one, Western South Koreans have multiple levels of income or multiple streams of income to make money in the West and in the home country. We as passport bros, right, particularly black men, we can only make money, right, in the West to keep it a stack. Okay. We can't go to Africa or an African country and start a new life there easily and start making money like South Koreans do. We can't do that in the Caribbean. We can't even do that in Latin American countries, right? So basically, right, we have to rely on the West. We have to rely on the West, okay, to make money. But a South Korean person can get tired of the West, can get tired of wokeness in the West, can be tired of the culture in the West, and go back to South Korea and make money there because South Korea is a developed nation. We don't have that fallback option the same way Western South Koreans do. You see where I'm going with this? We don't have that fallback option the way not just Western South Koreans do, the way Western Chinese people do, and the way Western Japanese people do. When I was in Japan earlier this year, I came across Japanese people from America who were actually born and raised in America, who were, born and raised in Canada, who decided to come back to Japan to have a new life there. Okay. And that's very easy for them. Japan is the third biggest economy in the entire world. They have historical lineages or connections in Japan. So it's easy for them to start making money there in a well-developed country. We as passport bros don't have that. This is the reason why Asian people are so rich in the West. Again, this all ties down to soft power. Many Asian people are making money not only in their homelands, but they're also making money in the West. Okay. A Chinese person can be making money in China and be making money in America. And he's Chinese American. We don't have that kind of juice. We don't have that, bruv. We don't have that fallback option. And that ties into the soft power of South Koreans and Asian people in general. They're making money in different angles in their lives. Number two, I've got some notes here, right? Being in South Korea so far, there is a strong sense of nationalism. It's South Koreans first and foremost. You can feel it in the air. You can see it. You can experience it. The television shows, the billboards, majority of it is South Koreans. They put themselves first. They are extremely nationalistic in South Korea. They put themselves first. And that's the reason why they have a lot of power all around the world right now. They put themselves first, man. I can't say that about Caribbean countries, and I definitely can't say that about African countries. These countries in Africa and Caribbean, they don't put their own people first, right? You're going to hear stories about, white people, Asian people being treated better in Africa, right, than African natives themselves. Brothers, I'm telling you, in South Korea, okay, South Korean people get treated much better than foreigners. Hardly any foreigner is going to be treated better than the average South Korean. But go to Africa, go to the Caribbean, a whole bunch of people treat foreigners better than the African natives. It's a joke, man. It's an absolute joke. So far, right, it just shows to me that South Korean people, they have it locked down to an absolute T. The way they run their country, the way they make money, the way they put themselves first. These are attributes that passport bros need to be taken in and apply it to ourselves. They are incredibly nationalistic when it comes to jobs, when it comes to advertisements, when it comes to media, even when it comes to dating. Even when it comes to dating. And let me tell you this, right? The Korean dudes here in South Korea, they get the best looking chicks without a single doubt. They get the best looking chicks. And I'm going to go to dating and I'm going to briefly touch upon it later on. But if you want to see an example of nationalism in a developed country, because South Korea is extremely developed, you need to come to South Korea. South Koreans and South Korea is incredibly nationalistic in every single part of their society. Once again, why can't Africa be like this? Why can't the Caribbean be like this? Number three, okay, leadership. Leadership. This country, South Korea, is led very well. It's not perfect, but you can tell that it is led very well. From every single part of the society, from education, from media, from finances. Every single part of South Korea has great leadership. And that contributes to their soft power. Let me tell you this right, brothers, right? This world is all about power. Power, 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 power. Nothing less, nothing more. If you don't have power, if you don't have the right leadership, you are food for the wolves. This is what South Korea is telling me. They have power and they have a great leadership. A South Korean person in America will never ever get George Floyd. And I'm sorry to say that, brothers. A South Korean person in America would never ever get George Floyd, but black people get George Floyd every day. Why is that? Number one, we have no power. Number two, we have no respect. There's no consequence to harming and destroying a black person in the West. But I guarantee you there will be a consequence if you try that with a South Korean. Power is everything in this world, man. And in South Korea, you can feel it in the air. You can see it, you can experience it, you can touch it. They lead this country, right, to the pinnacle, to the top. Nothing less, nothing more. It is a well-led country. The education system is very well done. You know, the um the the wealth aspect is very well done. The jobs is well done. The corporations are well done. The country is well led. And the leadership part ties into development. South Korea is incredibly developed. If you saw my earlier video upload today, I mentioned that I was in the I was in the airport and I saw a robot. First time ever in my life, I saw a robot doing some crazy stuff, picking up garbage, moving around. I'm thinking, what is this, bruv? Am I in an anime right now? Why do I see a robot right in front of me? It is so well developed. Why is that? Because they have great leadership. Now, every country is corrupt. There's no such thing as a corruptionless country. Even America, UK, Canada, they have corruption too. But the difference is, brothers, the difference is that despite these countries being corrupt, the average person can still live a great life, or at the very least, a good life if they make the right decisions. Ain't no African country, ain't no Caribbean country can attest to that. Corruption is rife within Africa, and the majority of people in Africa are living in that poor poverty. Brothers, I am so upset as to, you know, our options to building wealth and power is so limited, man. It really is. I can't go to a country in the Caribbean or in Africa, to start making big money there the same way a South Korean, a Japanese, or a Chinese person could. And that's the reason why these Asians are so rich and powerful in the West, particularly in Canada and Australia. They're making money not only in Australia and in Canada, but also in China and in South Korea. And China, as you know, is a big economy. I mean, come on, man. Again, this ties in right into the Korean soft power. The next point here, right, is global products. South Korea is a well developed country to the point where you're going to see technology all around the country doing crazy things. The lights, the robots, the whole nine yard. And South Korean products are all around the world. For example, Samsung. Samsung is side by side the most popular phone brand alongside iPhone all around the world. So they're exporting their technology all around the world. Everyone knows what Samsung is. Can someone tell me an African product that is used all around the world? Name me one African product. Name me one African or Caribbean product from Jamaica, from Barbados, from Ghana, from Rwanda that is known all around the world and billions of people, if not millions of people, use it. I can't think of any. For the Japanese, it's Sony. it's Nintendo. You know, for the South Koreans, it's Samsung. For the white-owned societies, the Europeans, right? England, you know, Aston Martin cars, America, Facebook. But I can't think of one global product that comes from the Caribbean or Africa that millions use. That just tells you just how far behind we are as brothers, man. I'm in South Korea, right? I'm in my hotel room, just sitting with my thoughts. Just sitting with my thoughts. The women are great. Women are great. We love women here, but we as men need to have resources. We need to have power. We need to be alongside the Saudis, the you know, um, the Qataris, the Europeans, the Asians. We got to be flexing too. But brothers, we are so far behind, man. And being in South Korea has not only opened my eyes up to our condition, it has it's kind of changed the way I want to do things in this life, man. It really has. I don't know, bruv. South Koreans have really taken over. And this is a country that's experiencing that has the lowest birth rate, if I'm not mistaken, in the entire world. And they still have managed to create a society where they can export their soft power all around the world. How about we talk about power for a second now when it pertains to South Koreans? The true power that they have is the social soft power, to the point where women all around the world want a Korean guy. You know, women all around the world want a Korean guy. And me being in the heart of the city, right? I'm seeing good looking foreign women, black women, white women, Indian women, Arabic women going crazy over Korean dudes. Something that was unheard of 10 years ago, 20 years ago. How did that come to be? That's that Korean soft power over there. That's that nationalistic Korean soft power. They, the one thing that I will respect about South Korea is that they 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 uplift their men. They uplift every single aspect of their men, not only in South Korea but worldwide. They, without a single doubt, have made their men the standard of beauty when it comes to men, and their women the standard of beauty when it comes to women. To the point where women of every race are going crazy over them. The K drama, the K pop. Brothers, do you know how big K pop is? K pop has literally taken over hip hop music. And for many years, hip hop music has been the biggest genre. K-pop has taken over that. I was on YouTube earlier today, right? And on my feed, some Korean song comes right on my homepage. Okay. On my homepage. And this song, right, only came out yesterday and has 15 million views in one day. I could not remember the last time a black artist, right, in the last, let's say, 10 years or even 5 years, got 15 million views in one day. Brothers, I'm in South Korea. These chicks are going crazy over the average South Korean dudes. I'm seeing low value South Korean men with good looking foreign women. So that's the dating, that's the dating power that they have. Okay. That's the dating power they have. Okay. What about the social power? And by the way, Drake isn't black, by the way. He's not black. Drake. Um, what about the social power? Okay, so the the social power is big all around the world when it comes to Korean culture. Okay, the K dramas, the the way the South Koreans dress, the way they act, the movies, the movies, the music. Being in South Korea, I'm just seeing how they do things here. It's Korean first and Korean only. And when we speak about economic power, the wealth, the money, oh boy, they got money here. They got money here, brothers. They are shopping until they drop. Long money is here in South Korea. Brothers, I need to let you know, man. Like when you travel, right? This is why traveling is such a big thing because it can make you see how the world truly is. We gotta do better, man. We gotta do better. I want to be where South Koreans are right now. I want the soft power. I want the economic power. I want the I want the overall power that they have. I want that for me and my people. I want that for me and my people. The We have failed as a group of people, man. We really have. And it annoys me every day. And I think the main point here that really annoys me is the fact that we are so boxed in when it comes to making money and building wealth. We can only do so in European countries and in America. And we know how America feels about black men. We know how European countries feel about black men. We are capped, right, from reaching our true potential, from reaching that upper echelon, from reaching that Elon Musk and Bill Gates status in Europe and in America. And there are millions of intelligent black men like Theo, Thomas, Ramel. But when you live in a country where it's ran by non-black people who don't want to see you do well, nothing you can do about it, man. This is where African countries, Caribbean countries should come in and give us that boost, give us that economy for us to work with. We can't do that, man. But I guarantee you, a Chinese American, he's doing that right now with China. Even though he's born in America, he's born and raised in America, he can go to China and make big money there, and also in America too. The same for a South Korean too, man. We gotta get this power, man. We gotta strategize, come together, and build a plan for world domination. You know, we have to do that, brothers. It ain't no game to me anymore, man. When you get older, when you grow older, you start thinking about building wealth, children, a wife. You want to make sure that your son and your daughter has the opportunities for them to reach their potential. Us as brothers, we can't provide that at the moment. Many of us can't because our path to building wealth is so locked. We are capped. There's a glass ceiling as to what we can actually do with our potential in the West. I often read, blog posts or boards that have Asian people, right? And many of these Asian people, they would say, "Hey, I'm working in corporate America. I feel like I'm capped here. I'm going through racism. I'm going to China because that's my people, and I know that I can, reach my true potential in my homeland. And they're speaking facts. They are speaking facts. African leaders need to start being less selfish. African leaders need to start putting their people first. Caribbean leaders need to start putting their people first and being less selfish. Because collective power is a lot more powerful than individual power. Why do you think me and Theo teach IT? Why do you think that many years ago I was in the library in the UK teaching IT for free to brothers? Bruv, because I understand that collective power is a lot more empowered than individual power. Why do you feel like, I'm pushing out crypto now? I want the best for each and every single one of us, man. I want to see brothers sipping pina colada on a beautiful beach with their beautiful girlfriend that's foreign. Not just me, not just Theo. I want to see thousands upon millions doing that, man. Why do you feel like this channel is so brother centric? I think I told you that, I think I told you that, Um, what's it called, brothers? Um, if I truly opened up this channel to everyone, I would be at least on 100K subscribers right now. No one can tell me that I'm not genuine, man. We need this power, man. We need to move as to how the Koreans do things. And this is why traveling is powerful. It's important. Traveling is a breath of fresh air. It can change your whole perspective. It can change your whole perspective on life, on how to move. It really can, brothers. Let me read these super chats real quick, man. Shout out to Mr. Caleb Smith for the $199 super chat. I appreciate you, bro. Sorry for spamming, but it needs to be said. Thank you, bro, for the support. Shout out to Mr. Terrence for the $199 super chat. Get traveling Tony back on since he's in Africa. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I will do my best to do so. Thank you, bro. Terrence, much appreciated, bro. So as I end this segment, right, I'm going to open up the phone lines, right? But please do not speak about women. I don't want to hear about Korean women, foreign women. We're keeping it on the stream topic, power. The Korean soft power that is taking over the world. How can we also take over the world with this kind of power? We will speak about Korean women on a different future stream. And I have a lot of intel when it comes to Korean women. Okay. But now I want to be more serious here and speak about power, man. I don't want to hear about women. Don't call in speaking about women. Because when you're in the heart of the city, right? When you're in a different country, when you're observing their way of life, the way of living, their wealth, their economy, their people, their infrastructure, it's a whole different feeling and experience, man. When you meet Americanized South Koreans, British South Koreans, Canadian South Koreans that have told me I'm in here in South Korea, right, to live here and to get away from the West and make money here, you're thinking, whoa, you're lucky. You are very, very lucky. Me as a black man, ain't no country in Africa or the Caribbean can I go to rebuild myself without any connections. It's possible, but it's not like uh, Caribbean or African countries have their own mega corporations. It'd be very hard compared to the West. Why do you think that so many people, you know, leave Africa and the Caribbean and Latin America and Asia to come to the West? It's for opportunities. Ain't no one leaving America and the UK in droves to go to Caribbean and Africa. You know, let's do it, man. Why can't Africa be like this? Why can't the Caribbean be like this? I'm tired, bruv. I know that me, the brothers, we should be in a bigger position in life, man. But our potential is locked down by the West and Western powers, and lack of great leadership by so-called leaders in our home nations. Why haven't Africans or African countries and Caribbean countries, reach out to Black American brothers, UK brothers, and build some sort of economic alliance? I guarantee you, Asian people are doing that. I have met South Korean people born in America that have economic connections to South Korean people in South Korea. Why can't we do that, man? And then I heard a stream yesterday that we had on Singapore, right? That Chinese people are illegally mining in African countries. What? Can you imagine a Black person, right, illegally mining in a Chinese country? That's not flying, bruv. I'm hearing that in African countries, in Caribbean countries, Black people have to compete with foreigners for resources. I guarantee you that ain't no way a brother is competing with a Chinese person in China for resources. That's not flying. The Chinese person is coming first. I mean, come on, brothers, man. Again, that's the reason why we have no soft power, no regulations, no structure, no power structure, not putting ourselves first. Brothers, man, I'm telling you, it's heartbreaking, man. It's heartbreaking where I'm seeing and I'm speaking to South Korean people. I live a great life here in South Korea, and that's great. That's cool because you have that fallback option. We don't have that fallback option. We have to we have to get lucky in the West. We have to get lucky in the West to get somewhere. All right, I'm gonna open up the phone lines. Okay, feel free to chime in on this discussion, brothers. When you call in, do not speak about my experiences with South Korean women. This ain't the stream for it. That will be for another stream. Okay, I have a lot more South Korean content to come out, and it won't just be about women. Okay, man, we're gonna be all right, man. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right, brothers. Let me open up the phone lines, man. And brothers, feel free to support, hit the PayPal, the super chats. Any support would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Um, I have work to do, man. I got to figure out some plan. I think crypto is probably going to be the best option for us. But I need to figure out as to what we can do to just kickstart a movement and just get this soft power, get this power going. And I want to applaud the South Koreans for building their country up. I want to applaud the South Koreans for putting their people first, being nationalistic, and ain't nothing wrong with doing that, man. I think that we should also be nationalistic. I feel like, African countries, Caribbean countries should also be nationalistic. Put your people first. I mean, it's a no brainer. If you don't put your people first, people of other groups are going to run all over you. All right. We live in a very harsh world. We live in a very harsh world, man. This world is all about power, 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 power. I want that power. I want that respect. And I want that for brothers worldwide, man. Let's go. All right, Colin, yeah? And get the likes up, please, brothers. Get the likes up. That'd be greatly appreciated. Get the likes up, please. Get up to at least 70 likes. That'd be greatly appreciated, brothers, man. So in the meantime, let's let's um let's get the in the meantime, I will be dropping more South Korean videos. I got a lot of content coming on the way, so stay tuned for that. Um, if you have any questions, feel free to super chat your questions or PayPal your questions. And yeah, feel free to call in as well to chime in on this discussion. Yes, Feel's on calling. Yes, appreciate you, Feel. Thank you, bro. Um, I know I'm right. I know I'm right, bruv. I ain't wrong here. You know, Koreans got power. They got soft power. I want that too for the brothers. And I want soft power in the way that, you know, um, what's it called? Soft power in the way that our image is taken seriously. Okay. We have a product that most people around the world uses. Samsung is everywhere in South Korea. Samsung TVs, Samsung phones, Samsung everything, bruv. It's not a game for me anymore, man. What good is tell me, hold on, right? What good is having a beautiful foreign woman if you have nothing? If you have no career, no power? What good is that? What good, what good, right, is having a beautiful foreign woman if you have nothing? Why do you think me and Theo are pushing out IT? Why do you think that me and Theo are now pushing out crypto? Well, I'm pushing out crypto. Bruv, what I mean, come on, man. What good is having a beautiful foreign woman if you have no power? It's gotta be about power, 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 bruv. As men. Damn. Let me get some water real quick. Hold on. Let me get to my fridge. Hold on, yeah? Give me a second. All right, let me bring in Mr. Theo Waff in the building. Let's get it cracking, man. Good morning, good afternoon, Theo. How you doing, bro?
I'm all right. What's up? Doing good?
I'm doing all right, bro. I'm getting the full 360 perspective in South Korea. Woman living here, the Korean soft power. It's been a very interesting experience for me so far, bro. I am loving South Korea. I think it's a
Mm-hmm.
well-run city, well-run
Mm-hmm.
society, crazy nightlife, and I'll be dropping some videos of me partying. But I wanted to make this stream about Korean soft power. That's what I'm saying. The society, I'm simply in awe of it, Theo. It's incredible, bro.
So, I mean, you were describing Samsung, and you have to remember, this is a lot to do with government policies. So, both Japan and Korea stipulated that if you're going to buy something, it has to be from their country. And that's how they developed. So, the West wasn't able to sell products to them. They're like, okay, well, if you want us to buy a record player from you, teach us how to make a record player, and then we'll make a record player for ourselves. We'll give you like a money for a patent or something like that, but that's about it. And they're going to be self-sufficient and make all their own products. So now they have world-class environments, world-class products. If we're going to do this regarding Africa, it would require government industrial policy. So we would take, like, example, Tanzania or Ethiopia, for example. The government would have to state, look, we're only going to buy products that are made here locally. Or like, let's say that Kenya, Tanzania, and Ethiopia had a union together. And they said, we're only going to buy products made locally here between us three.
You back?
Did I drop?
Yeah.
I'm back. I'm going looking at my memory, the string. So basically, we need to have it that we only buy products from ourselves.
Yep. You back?
Yeah, I'm back. We need to make it so that we only buy products from ourselves. That'll work.
Yes, indeed, man. So, brother, that's from an African and Caribbean perspective. I definitely agree with that, bro. I think so. Being here so far, bro, I actually feel as brothers, as passport bros, we can learn a lot from the Asians, in my opinion, in terms of their way of life, their collective thought, the way they build things, the way they built their country. Singapore, Japan, South Korea are great models, not only from a country perspective, but from a personal perspective, bro. Is that a fair assessment there, brother, or am I loving the Asians too much, bro?
I mean, think of it. I mean, I've always credited the Koreans for my study habits, my drive to achieve a lot. Because when I was in university, I had never met a Korean before in my life. So I went to university, I met them, I was totally taken aback by them. They were amazing. So I hitched along with them. And, you got a lot of them were immigrants. And they were, their Friday night was go to church and pray and then go study, or go have fun and then go study. And then all day Saturday was just study, and Sunday was go to church and study. And in that environment, I really blossomed, and I got much more intelligent. Whereas, let's say that other groups, their Friday night was nothing. There was no study at all. It was just bump and grind, and booty this, booty that, and in the end, they weren't making it nearly as far as the Koreans were. So, yeah, I always credit them for, again, me buying all my books I buy, study, not going after booty all the time. Yeah, it was highly because of Korean influence.
Yeah, that's a great perspective there, bro. Now, personally, right, I think it'll be a long time until African leaders and governments start to put their people first. So, what can we as passport bros be doing, brother, to emulate that success that Koreans have, bro? Again, economic success, wealth, is crypto the answer, bro? Because
No,
obviously, okay, break it down.
no, crypto's cute. I mean, it's something you can do a little bit, but it's first us as a group making families and keeping our resources within the family. That'd be the first one. And us being one of the least married groups has a big impact on destroying destroying the wealth that we have. If you look at Asian Americans, I'm sure Asians in the UK as well, they should be one of the most married groups of any other group, and they're also the richest.
Yeah.
And it's you're keeping your money inside of the family. If you notice me, one of the things I've always stated is use your passport, yes, find a woman and marry her and make children. And I've always said that fundamentally because I know that for the stability that you're going to need in the future, that's the best choice to do. So what a Korean man will do is he might have a little bit of fun, but he'll get he'll get a wife, he'll make some kids, and then he'll pour his entire life into those kids. And those kids are going to be really strong and they're going to advance very strongly. And then his resources will be given to the kids. And if you keep on doing this over several generations, you're going to get somewhere. You're going to get somewhere. But the way we have it, a lot of us, it's, I would say not just black men in the West, but also white men in the West. It's, get some booty, do this, do a trick, do something, underachieve, and there's a narcotics culture, and it's like train spotting, right? There's no future. You're not going towards anywhere. Whereas the Koreans, they're going someplace. Well, if you get married, you have children, you have to go someplace because you have kids. You have to do something. Instead of what we have in the West, is a lot of times you have kids to get resources from the government. It's for you. It's not for the children. So I would say the first thing we got to do is actually get married and make strong families. The second thing would be to pool our resources within the family, and then to make community of like-minded men who make a community of like-minded families, and then within that community pool the resources. You do that, then we're going someplace. Then we have a future going to happen.
Does that mean, right, we have to be with black women, brother? Because obviously,
No,
Koreans,
no,
they're with Korean people, Indians with Indian people. Does that mean we have to be a black woman, brother? And keep it a stack in you, brother. Keep it a stack. Okay.
No, it does not. It does not. And it just matters that I mean, the way that I would work, again, when I was in Japan, if I was going to pull my resources, it would be with Japanese people. It has to be with people who are functional, who have the same vision as you. So if they're dysfunctional, they're not doing it. If they're there to do a trick, then you need to get rid of them. So it could be of any race. It's just that it's more likely going to be outside of our race. If you, you haven't been inside of a Korean family yet. I don't. Did you make inside a Korean family? Did you actually meet anybody like that?
Not yet. Not Korean. I mean, okay. Not yet, bro. But
Okay,
I've seen a lot of Korean couples though, but
so
not families. I've not been in that situation yet.
the way that the mothers operate is a true asset. I would, I mean, you have no idea how much I would give to have my children raised by a Korean woman, because they're phenomenal mothers, and they know how to get the right resources to their kids. And uh, if you got that kind of partner, then you're gonna have a strong family. And I see some other cultures doing that, but all of them are outside the West. So you got to choose your partner very carefully. And it's not, hey Pooh, come on. I do love the Koreans. I think they're wonderful. Um, uh, you got to, it's more, I would say men, you got to stop thinking about big booty, because big booty is usually going to be going towards big welfare payments or child support. You have to think about a woman who looks at you and says, I can be a good wife, but I'll give you an excellent family beyond anything you can ever dream of.
Hmm.
And she's serious. And not only that, her friend group is doing it already. And you're like, okay, I'm just hooking in. I'm just going for the ride. That's it. That's the best way of doing it.
So let me add this right. What the flip? Is this a fair statement? I've kind of given up, right, with the Western community. I feel like the majority of our Western brothers and sisters just can't be saved, brother.
Sure.
To they worship celebrities too much. They don't see the forest for the trees. They are not serious about what really matters in this world, which is family, wealth building. They just want to mess about, and this is why I love this community. I'm happy that I met you, Theo, and the other brothers, because like-minded, building. We know what needs to get done. So, is it fair to say, brother, that we should forget about the Western community and the passport bro should actually link up with brothers in the diaspora and worldwide and start building like that, brother? Is that a fair assessment, or am I?
Yeah, that's you need. That's what I do. My main network is outside the United States, so you need to have. What I say, you need to understand the West is there to make money. That's it. So you make money from it, but basically your culture and your resource gathering is outside the West. That's the best way of doing it.
Fantastic. And
You know?
how do you feel about my statement where I said that in South Korea, right? When I'm here, I've met American South Koreans, Canadian South Koreans who are making money in South Korea, but still
Mhm,
have links to Canada and America and are making money there too. So they have,
mhm,
brother, multiple sources of income. So, brother, essentially, right, they have a fallback plan. If things don't go right for them in America, they got South Korea, a high functioning economy, they can get something here. We as passport bros, right? We as brothers, we don't
mhm.
have that fallback plan. We don't have a particular African nation or a Caribbean nation or even a majority Black Latin American nation that can give us that kind of fallback plan. Is that a fair assessment there? But that the Asians in the West have that fallback plan, brother. Particularly in Australia too, that I've met over here in South Korea.
Mhm. Yeah, you're entirely correct. So we really our only option is the West. But I mean, I was envious of myself when I was in Japan about the fallback plan. I was actually very impressed by it, and we don't have that, so we have to create it. And we have to look at what our parents and grandparents did and say, look, you guys were nuts. I mean, you guys did some cute stuff, all right, fine, but you guys really screwed it up for us, and
Mm,
now we're going to have to make it up. We're going to have to make the foundations again.
yep. Hmm.
So that's it. We have to make that decision now. So we got to keep on training people and getting people in the workforce, but then recognize that our main wealth that we're going to have in our lives is going to be the success of our children. If we can think that way, then we can go forward. But if we don't think that way fundamentally, this ain't going to happen.
Thanks, bro. I think this is a bit sad for me to say, bro. But I feel like parents, grandparents, I'm not saying all, but some they dropped the ball, and we have to now pick up those pieces, and we have to actually now build that foundation for our children. So basically, right, brother, Koreans that are alive now, Gen X, the millennials, the Gen Z, their forefathers, their parents, grandparents, they have built a foundation for them, not only in the West, but in Korea. We don't have that foundation as brothers, man. And that's why we are actually collectively poor in the West, in Africa, in Caribbean. The average foreigner in Africa and the Caribbean, brother, is richer than the average African and the Caribbean person in their own country. I guarantee you, bro, the average Chinese person, the average Korean person is richer than the average foreigner in their country. Something ain't right here, brother. I'm really angry.
So look at their decisions. Are they buying Jordans? No. Are they like? No. Are they chasing after big booty Keisha? No. Are they having kids out of wedlock? No. And so we have to change this immediately. This is the big change. So we can't change it in the West. We have to have a separation, and we go off and do our own way, and make our family someplace else. That we can do. But without that, without the mindset change, this ain't gonna work. And it's going to take a long time because, I always say, people always say, like, what we had slavery. I'm like, well, slavery ended a long time ago. And if you look at Korea, like half their country was made into a parking lot. Then their country was divided in two. Then they were basically ruled over by a U.S.-backed dictator for how long, right? And those people, most men there, from the time they left high school or university, either one, they worked 7 days a week. There was not one day off. It was something special. Like the only time they got off was to go to church. So they'd go to church and then they would go to office afterwards. Those men sacrificed amazingly. So you can't say the history of slavery or anything like that. Those guys got their country ripped in two. The thing is, though, is that they had their family structure, and that never got altered. And they had, say, hope in the future and hope in each other. So they relied on each other, put their resources towards each other, and they made it happen. And it's really much against all odds. So they did amazing work. So, yeah, great. We have to change our system. Well, we can't do it in the West because the communitas is a matriarch. It requires men to do this. You need a patriarchy to get this done effectively.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to all in 4X for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you both for the support. Every donation counts, and I'm happy that brothers support when they can. Hey, we'll listen to the playback at work now. Thank you both for the support. Much appreciate, brother. Dak, can you turn your camera on in the background, please? I know you're not wrong. Thank you, bro. You're confirmed. Thank you, Dak. Let me bring you in, brother. Let me bring you in, Mr. Dak, Dissident in the building. What's going on, Dak?
Hey, what's up, IP? What's up, BO?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. This is a really topic that's dear to me. When you talk about family and culture, I think, and I see in my own family how you can have a beginning, those who come before you got people in my family that established businesses, own properties, and then as you see over the years, people take that for granted and then they bury it in the ground. And I think it takes for each of us, as Steele said, to be that change, to instill that into having families and children. they are, with male progeny, they are our offspring, and to pour into them so that we can create a new community, our culture, that's like nation building. So we have to really think like in a strategic way. So no matter where we are, we have a network and that we build in these areas that we are.
Yep. Yes, indeed. And when we I think it's good for us to think positive. When we actually build that community and we get wealth, eventually we're gonna have to get some politicians on our side, to actually push laws that are favorable for us. Essentially be a lobby. We all know of a certain lobby in America. I ain't gonna say no names, but there's a very powerful lobby in America that gets things done for their people and their country. We need that similar lobby for passport bros that can lobby for us in when it comes to politics and governmental matters. Eventually, we need to reach the top of the food chain, and that's politics and that's laws that are actually favorable towards us, and that can allow us to actually build new industries, new economies. Because we have a lot of smart people here, bruv. We got Theo, we have Thomas, we have Romel, we have so many smart brothers here, man. I guarantee you, if they were Chinese, if they were white, if they were South Korean, those societies would uplift them to the very top. Someone like Theo should be beyond what he's doing right now. He's doing great things right now, but with his intellect, right? I guarantee you, if he was Chinese, he'd be head of a particular county in China. He's so smart. We need to. I'm angry, brothers. I'm angry, man.
Well, I mean, there's still things. There's still a lot we can do. It's just that the way that the West is, the West is lost. I mean, we're working on paternity right now. Just knowing who the father is, that's hard enough, right? So I would say we need to turn our attention, if we're going to turn our attention towards other countries, it'd be like Tanzania, for example. So what kind of lobby group can we have there to protect our interests? That would be a start. What kind of, can we get a cloud environment over there? You're right. Can that be a base? Can we have, semiconductor manufacturing there? Things like that. What can be made there that can be consumed locally? That's where we start getting wealth. Not, but that would actually be something that our kids would be involved in. So, find the woman, make the family. But right now, the real problem is we can't. Our options for a dependable wife are few. That's the problem.
No, break it down for us, Theo. And that's done by the powers that be. The powers that be want it to be that way. That's why they've pushed out certain ideologies in the West that have actually destroyed the mindsets of millions of women in the West. And they want to do that all around the world, bro. There's a huge battle going on, brothers, that we don't even know about. That, if we don't win, it's gonna be over, man. It really is.
Yeah. So I mean, as long as you have a woman or a wife who thinks that marriage is a form of slavery, and she is free, and it's all about giving the resources to her and not to the children, as long as that's there, you can't do nation building. It's literally impossible. So Korean women do not have this mentality, nor do Japanese women. Well, so that's why you can make proper companies there. But with American, no. I mean, like for myself, okay, so I'm a millionaire. All right, fine. But I don't have anyone to whom I can pass my legacy. I'm not training anyone in my family right now. That's the problem. And so every option that I have is too dangerous, right? So I have to constantly be second guessing. Whereas if you're in Korea, in that example, the woman would be more than happy to have your kids and then be the super mom. And then you got the job backing, and then you have the wife backing. you get everything, right? So that's a really good asset. Whereas the West, it's just a question of time before Order 66 is executed, and she turns against you, and you're like, what's going on?
Facts. You want to say something, Dak?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, just trying to get cooperation, just like base level cooperation, is just is just nowhere found in the West. So having that is a strategic asset long term when you're raising these kids. Especially when you can focus on making the money and being the breadwinner, and the wife is taking care of the children. And again, it takes two to someone that actually will be cooperative with you and wants to build a legacy. That's very important. You have to have that understanding first.
So
Yes,
I
indeed.
think that one of the best options that we have right now are Colombians for that, because at least you have a strong woman who identifies with her husband and goes with him on his program, and that she has longevity. So at least your grandchildren are going to have this figure in the house to actually talk about you and talk about the values that you made in the family long after you're dead. So that's that's an option. That's the way we have to be thinking. That's first base inside the family. But if we don't think about it, people are talking about, like in the chat, not talking about having the family be first. No, family is first. That is the first place. I mean, you can get all the money, all the intelligence, everything. If you don't have a place to pool your money in your resources in a community, your resources will go to another community. That's the way it works. So I don't have, again, I'm a millionaire. I don't, if I died right now, my resources would go into a white community. Straight up. I really don't have an ability to transfer it to anybody for longevity whatsoever. I'd have my legacy would be a few AWS courses and some videos with UIP. That would be it.
But it wouldn't go to the government. It go to white people. It wouldn't go to government, bro.
No, most of it would go to the government. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just whatever debt they found that I have, it'd be be paid off, and then just go into a government fund, and that's it. Because I don't have any legal. Besides people I have in my will, I don't have any legal line, and nobody else. It's just me.
Right.
So the longer that we have that situation as men, the more of a problem we have. So we got to do that. But then once we start making families, we know that everything is good there. We can start pulling the proper education towards the kids. But then we're also thinking, okay, so what community are we in? How do we build that community? Right. Where do we do land? How do taxes work there? What products do we consume? All of that becomes ultra important, because you want other people in the community to also be strong. And so this is where I say it's another country. I'm not thinking about the West when I'm not talking about this. I'm thinking about us in another country. That's the easiest way of doing it.
Yeah, and this is something that is as old as time.
Before you say so, bro, sorry, brother. Let me bring in, hold that thought there. Let me bring in Elijah. He's been very patient, brother. Elijah, you're confirmed, brother. Do you want to? Can I bring you on with a camera on? Give me a thumbs up. Camera on. Camera on. Give me a thumbs up. Camera off. Camera off. Okay, thank you, bro. Camera's off. Let me bring in Mr. Elijah. What's going on, Elijah? Elijah, you're on mute, bro.
Can y'all hear me now? Okay, yeah, y'all can. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. What's up, man? Yeah. Just an interesting conversation going on lately, and your conversations are heading in the right direction without a doubt. Especially what's been going on lately, because like community-wise, well, the Black community is so far behind. It's like I was telling this to my mentor like a week ago. I was like, we're on the brink of World War III, and dudes is talking about Cheesecake Factory and oysters. So it's just like You be so behind. I'm like, yo, colors, you can't make this stuff up. Black people, you cannot make this stuff up with black people, man. I swear. But well, I'll give y'all some things my mentor told me. He said, only men commune in unity. And that's what a community is. You commune in unity. And he says that men are builders and women are interior decorators. The problem with the ABW is she wants to be the man or the husband. So she wants to be the builder instead of being the interior decorator. Does that make sense?
And it makes sense, and that's why we don't want to. That's why we don't do with ABWs anymore when it comes to dating. But you know,
exactly, and Western women in whole, in general, because most of them, unfortunately, don't want to be interior decorators. Or they want to be both.
On that point there, right? Listen, sorry, bro. So, right, I'm not against having fun, right? Out here in South Korea, I'm partying, having a great time. I'm not against having fun, right? But I understand that there are certain things that we also got to get done first and foremost, okay? Or at least have that going on the same time of having fun. So, for example, right, I study every day, right? I make sure that the IT stuff gets done. I teach people. You know, I try and do some productive things in my life. I study about crypto, about stocks. So, right, I understand that you can have fun, but at the same time, I'm still serious, right? You know, I will post videos about women, about reacting to modern women, etc., etc. We have different streams there. That's cool, right? But I still want us to actually, you know, build and start thinking about wealth, etc., etc. I'm not saying all brothers got to be 100% be serious, you know, be stoic, etc., etc., all day, every day long, right? You can have fun, but at the same time you're having fun, be also building, be productive, and live a productive life. Isn't that right, Theo?
Limit the amount of fun, and recognize that the real fun is inside the family and what you're building at work, and actually building the community. That's where you're going to have real joy in the future. So if you can get other like-minded men together and you guys can actually build together, then later on you can actually have well-deserved fun, right? So I think that's a really big point. Too many of us in the West are influenced by this gynocentric notion of taking vacations and resting and things like that. I'm not at all. I'm like build because I have this Korean mindset. I've had it ever since university. Tomorrow we need to be in another position. We need to be moving. We need to be building, because if we don't, we're gonna get left behind. So move up, get up, move on it, and hopefully you'll have somebody on the journey with you, who's also building with you.
Yeah, of course, man.
Big part.
Just you know, have the right balance. You know, in life is all about balance. Do prioritize what needs to be prioritized, but also, you know, don't overstress yourself. But we have to definitely build. It's very important, and then start, you know, thinking about having power and running stuff, man. Go on, Dak. You want to say something, bro?
Yes, I agree with what Theo was saying. You know, you have to be, you know, have some maturity, you know, be responsible, but also prioritize the family. And if you look at throughout history, even like in the Christian church, you had the apostles. After, you know, the death of Jesus, they built and instituted missions and churches, like patriarchs in different nations, and established. So in that sense, you know, we've had this throughout the course of history, but for us, we should be at least along the same mindset in sort of establishing a territory and then building with our families and creating and cultivating rules and structures for our children, so that they can, when they get to term of age, they can build in perpetuity what we've established.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you have to do it that way.
yeah. I believe, like, for example, I do believe Samsung is family owned. I know Sony is.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
So that makes total sense that they're, you know, though people are born there, being groomed to go in there. Tokyo Mitsubishi, which is a Zaibatsu. It's actually Mitsubishi is a Zaibatsu. Many of those are family oriented. We don't have that option. Are you kidding? Nothing, man. That's our best. Sadly, our best heritage is the streets, right? I mean, that's what we got right now, and so we gotta. I mean, we're already doing it. We're on their way. It just has to be more solid. We have to work even harder, so that our children can be in a position to work hard, and then the grandchildren will be in a better position. We have that kind of thinking. Yes, this is going to work.
Yes, indeed, man. And do you know what, right? Like that right there is a very great point there, Theo. South Korea is known for a lot of its. There's a name for it in Korean, family-owned big companies. We need that in our
Chaebol.
community.
Chaebol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the Japanese word for that?
They have Zaibatsu.
Zaibatsu, whatever. Yeah. So, like we need that, bruv. And I think currently the Western community, Black community, is unable to build something like that. I think if we're gonna have something like that, it's gonna be Passport Bros. It's gonna be someone like Theo, someone like Thomas, someone like Ramel, and a few of the other smart brothers, Dak, right? That can actually, build something like that. Product, direction, hard work, tech. Tech is the future. So we need to start working towards that kind of family-owned businesses, brother. Imagine a Passport Bro business, a big tech business, right? That employs Passport Bros all around the world. We'd be untouchable, man. So we need to work towards that, man. I think one day, right, if things go right, I want to have like some sort of like X Factor kind of audition or whatever you call it in America, where I can find the brightest and the best tech Passport Bros all around the world, and then get them together so they can build a product. I mean, that's the plan. I'm not there yet in terms of finances or connections or resources yet to actually enable that kind of search, but that's one of my goals, man. And then they can go off to actually start building great things. But yeah, we got to start thinking like that, man.
I'll give you more example. So why don't we build our own cloud? So, like, for example, we could have our own cloud. Like, we'd have like 4 regions in the beginning. So it'd be like Sao Paulo, Cali, Colombia, Tanzania, and then Thailand, since we have the numbers there. And so we'd have parts of us be working in the West, but also be moonlighting for our own cloud and making our own cloud environment. Doing that kind of thinking would mean we'd be in a position to actually get that cash flow coming in with applications to us. And that's exactly what we would want. Something like that. Yeah. So we have that kind of thinking. That's good, because that's how the Koreans would think. They would be like, well, we don't want to use like Sony computers or IBM computers. We don't want to use Dell. But in particular, IBM, they don't want to use IBM. They're like, hey, look, we're going to make Samsung, and then we're going to buy Samsung computers. We're going to do it all the way that way. And if you have that kind of thinking, oh yeah, then we're going towards the future.
Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. Elijah, you want to chime in? And brothers, feel free to call in if you want to chime in on this discussion. Go on, Elijah.
Speaking of the cloud, I actually have those 2 courses. Theo, would you recommend?
No,
or should
sorry, bro. Sorry, brother. Different discussion, man. Let's keep you on topic, man, please. Okay.
Yeah, we gotta keep on topic.
Keep on topic.
You can always ping me for that kind of question.
Okay, cool. My bad.
Hold on, Dad. Let me bring in someone in, right? So, G-Man, can you turn your camera on, please, brother? G-Man? So I know your brother. G-Man, you're confirmed. Thank you, G-Man. Turn your camera off. Turn it off. Let me bring in Mr. G-Man in the background. What's going on, Mr. G-Man? How you doing, bro? You're on mute. Let me unmute you. What's going on, G-Man?
How are you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, bro. How you keeping?
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, man, it's great to be on the show. This is a really important topic, and I'm on several other panels. I've been on several other panels, um, and you know, I strongly believe. Here's the thing, right? Here's like the problem with like we haven't we've talked about what the solution is, but we haven't identified what the problem is, right? Like with respect to how black men operate, because I see it every day, and we have to be able to identify where it is that we're going wrong, or what it is that we're doing wrong, right? And so what I see is, if I could boil it down, it is the inability to think, or the unwillingness to think about the future.
Hmm.
That's really if you boil it down, that's what it is. Because when you think about what these African leaders do when they enact very short-sighted policies that doesn't benefit anyone but themselves. It doesn't benefit the country in the long term. It doesn't benefit their people in the long term. It benefits only themselves in the short term. That means they are not thinking about the future. They're not even, and in some cases, they're not even thinking about their kids' future. They're so selfish. They're so selfish. They're thinking about buying a yacht for themselves, or buying, something for themselves, not even for their kids. So it is important that we inculcate a culture of thinking about the future and for being forward looking. Because when you think about the future, suddenly your choices change. Suddenly you start saving more. Suddenly you start thinking about education. You start thinking about your kids' education, not just your own education, but funding your kids' education and saving for that. That's a lot. That's another thing black people don't do, because I see that every day. Whereas with respect to white folks, they're getting money from their grandparents, not just their parents, but their grandparents. There's $129 trillion that's going to be transferred from the baby boomers to the millennials. 129 trillion. Most of that is white wealth. So your white friend is getting $50,000, $100,000, and a house from his grandmother or his granddad, right? And you are none the wiser. They're getting this. They're getting these resources. And what do black people have to show for all these decades? What do black boomers have to show for all these decades of accumulating, of working wherever they've worked, whether they work for the government or wherever? Are they passing that down to their kids? Are they giving that to their are they paying for their kids' educations? So the essential problem is the lack of thinking about the future. That's the problem. Yeah,
I agree, brother. Let me salute you right there. Absolute facts there, bro. I agree 100%. Lack of foresight is a thing that's missing amongst the diaspora worldwide. I give you an example here, right? It's very common for these Caribbean leaders or African leaders to send their kids to European schools, American schools. I'm thinking, why can't you build your own universities, right, in your own countries, build it up like the South Koreans have done so, and the Chinese do so, and the Japanese do so? You will hardly ever hear, right, a Japanese person say, I'm gonna send my kids to Europe. The only way they'll be in Europe is by an exchange program, but they'll still come back to their Japanese, South Korean, and Chinese universities. We need to get rid of this, the white man's ice is colder, or any other race's ice is colder. That's a big problem we have amongst our communities, particularly in Africa and the Caribbean.
AIP.
We do not have that foresight to just think about the future. What about our kids? What about having power? What about our resources? It's a joke, bruv. I don't know what's going on, fam. Go on, Dak.
Yeah. So I would say my freshman year, I had a Pakistani who was my physics 1 instructor. And within that, maybe 3 months in, his visa had ended and he had to go back to Pakistan. And so when he went back to Pakistan, he made a decision. He said that he wanted to make the Harvard of Pakistan in his home country. And in his homeland, he invested with local business partners and actually created a university that was recognized, in the nation of Pakistan, as a leader, for educating Pakistanis, instead of having them to go to Harvard or MIT and having them there and getting them in jobs. And I think, that's the difference there is these other cultures have homelands where they still have a patriarchy, whereas we have a matriarchal society. And so the leaders that we have in these nations, they tend to think like women. All they want is to extract resources at the expense of their people. And so we don't have a masculine leader, you have chaos. And that's why we have this just incessant history of enslavement of our own people by our own bad deeds before we ever migrated into the West, into the Americas. So
I'm sorry to just to add on to what you were saying, African elites were selling off other Africans, and what's crazy is that they were selling them off for trinkets, like not even things that are worthwhile. Like you'll see what they sell. You go to these slave museums that they have set up in Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, places like that. You'll see what they sold you. They'll see what they sold your people for. They sold them for glass, booze, trinkets, right? Like not or in some cases they sold them for guns, which they then used against their own people to sell more slaves, to capture more slaves. So
absolutely, I can definitely relate to this. In my own family, I had grandparents who owned multiple pieces of land, and as soon as they passed away, those amongst my extended family were fighting over what money they could get so they could extract. I mean, again, this is like 2023. We're in a dire, inflation, and they're talking about getting peanuts, and they don't have anything to do with it. They just want to blow it and waste it on just frivolous things. They're not thinking, like you said, in the future for their own children. They just want to take it for themselves and waste it, and instead of actually trying to grow something, actually soil the land and actually grow and nurture things. And so it's just something that that we're doing is different. Like we really are going against the grain, and so we don't really need to rely upon the entire community. We are the community.
Let Theo say something. Go on, Theo.
If you have child support, there's not going to be a legacy. It neutralifies it. This is impossible. You can't spool the resources together properly. So there's going to be like peanuts given to the child when the parents die. I know my parents, they were together almost until the end, and when they died, I mean, I got zero. Literally, it was Zippo. I just laughed. My mother was always talking about how there was a life insurance policy and there'll be something for me, and when she died, there was nothing. It's like she just lied the entire time. So I just want to say, guys, we have to change this around. But one of the things we make sure we don't have is the child support, because with that, there's nothing to give to the kid in the end.
And do you know what, right? On that topic of wealth transfer, hearing that billions or even trillions will be transferring to white people in the future in America. Same for Asian people. Not only are they getting, money transfers via wills or inheritance in the West, they're also getting that in South Korea, China, and Japan, which are developed countries. So they're making money everywhere, brother. They're building wealth everywhere. We don't have that, man. And the only reason, the only way we can get that is by having some sort of base in the Caribbean and in Africa to be making money there too. But that's even hard as well. So we are actually just locked in the West, and a lot of us don't have that, that generational wealth to be getting, thousands or if not millions passed down to us. What's your thoughts about that, Theo?
No, we don't have it. We have to make it for our family, our line. That's where we have to start and do it. So take advantage of the system. We can get jobs. We have universities. We have rule of law. We can make investments and go from there. That's it.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? You're right. China has the second largest economy in the world. It's almost $20 trillion in GDP. So that's a lot of wealth. I mean, but it's shared between 1.4 billion people. So when you put it in context, I mean, in comparison to the per capita wealth of the United States, it's actually it's not that great. But when you look at a country like South Korea, which has a very big economy and in a population of only 50 million people, that puts it in context, right? They have all these huge mega corporations, Samsung, Hyundai, all these mega corporations that are pulling in billions of dollars. Some of them, I think Samsung has almost $1 trillion at one point. I think they had a $1 trillion market cap at one point. Here,
the Chaebol are more power. The Chaebol are more powerful than some countries.
Yeah. And here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, though. There are some countries in Africa that are doing relatively well. There's South Africa, right? And not only South Africa is a relatively big economy, by at least, but by the, relatively speaking, by the by African standards, for relatively big economy, this is $1 trillion. So you can work with that, right? That's a starting point. And I think brothers, we have to be optimistic, because in order to think about the future, you first have to be optimistic about the future. You can't be pessimistic, right? And so it starts from a base of optimism, and you go out from there. And we also have to think as entrepreneurs, not as W-2, not as workers, right? Because the opportunities that are out there in Africa will require people with MBAs, business degrees, people who know how to do business, know how to get their hands dirty. Okay. We need a class of entrepreneurs who are ready to go in there, do deals with these, go in there, do whatever it takes, do some deals with these politicians like the Chinese and the Europeans do, right? And get something done, because it'll take some elbow grease. We have to, the things that have to be built in order for us to enjoy the benefits later on, like the Koreans are enjoying. That took decades. That took decades. It didn't happen overnight. Korea was one of the poorest countries in the 1970s and 60s.
Yeah, exactly. It was dirt poor.
It was dirt poor.
Yeah.
So it takes time to be able to get to that point, and we can start now. But we have to start, and we have to have an entrepreneurial mindset, right?
Yes, indeed.
And we can build our own personal wealth, but as a group, that's going to take time. That's going to take decades. To become a powerful group, that's going to take decades. So
So we better start now. We better start now. Thank you, bro. Let me bring in Mr. Sid in the background. Sid, you got your camera on. Is that okay? Give me a thumbs up, or you can turn your camera off. Thumbs up. Camera's okay. Okay. Let me bring in Mr. Sid in the background. Let's get it cracking. What's going on, Sid?
Yeah, it was this is a good discussion. I just came in and having been to a couple of countries in Africa, I know that the Africans, they're ready to do business. There are millions of entrepreneurs in Africa. These guys are ready to do business. You go somewhere like Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe had they have a very highly educated population. That's why so many of them have jobs in South Africa. They're ready to do business, man. Guys like us passport bros, we're in technology. Technology can help countries that aren't developed to actually leapfrog certain stages of development. Africa actually uses Bitcoin as payment systems, as payment. More than most other countries. They're using Bitcoin daily to pay for things. They're using online payment systems more than in the United States because most people don't have regular bank accounts. And so we need to look at the technologies that they are using, that they are accessing, and see what we can do with that. Can we enhance it? Can we add to it? What can we do, for ourselves and for people on the continent in the Caribbean that will actually help these countries leapfrog the certain industrial stages of development, because that's what can be done with the technology. As a matter of fact, they're already doing it. They just need more help.
Yes, indeed. And no, thank you, bro. Yeah, I keep saying tech is the future. I think crypto, can make a lot of things easier for us in terms of building wealth, man. We got to do a crypto stream very soon. Anyway, as you know, so for the Passport Bro show, we'll be back this coming Monday. Perhaps we'll do crypto, bro. Perhaps we'll do a very deep stream on crypto. I'm thinking about it, bro. But Passport Bro show is back on this next week Monday, or this coming Monday, after the weekend. Looking forward to that.
Your next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, our next week. You're flying today, aren't you?
No. I'm not flying today, bro. So
okay.
Essentially, bro. So basically it will be this coming Monday. So on the 6th of November, we're gonna do the Passport Bro show, bro. So I'm gonna end the stream in 15 minutes. I've got a long day ahead of me. Got to get some things done. Great stream, man. I just thought I had to make it happen. Again, I'm seeing how Korean society is. I'm very impressed by it. They have a lot of pride in their country. You can tell it's very nationalistic, extremely nationalistic. Koreans come first in every single part of their society.
Did you see any of the videos of the World Cup in 2002 World Cup where the Koreans made the quarterfinals?
No,
did you see that? You should go talk to them about it. All of Korea was crazy. Like, when I was in Japan, we were watching the Koreans. We're like, are they nuts? They're like, yeah. They're all out in the streets going cuckoo over this. And even though Korea lost, they didn't care. They're like, the fact that their team made the quarterfinals. That's it. That's all they cared about. So, yeah, I mean, they are super national. They love being Korean. And so it's something that we need to have.
Yeah, we need to love being black, and put ourselves first. And African countries put themselves first. Love being black. Caribbean countries put themselves first. Latin American countries. I think that's one of the beginning steps. Love who you are, and put yourselves first, and then you can start thinking about other people. That's how Asians have done it. That's the reason why Japan is successful, China is successful, Korea is successful. Just be optimistic. Be optimistic, IP. Be optimistic, bro.
Yeah,
oh man,
we have a long way to go. At least we have,
but here's the
educated.
thing, though.
Yes.
But here's the thing. We do have some things going for us, right? I mean, if you look at Africa has a very young population demographically, and they say by 2050, 2 out of every 5 people will be African. So let's say it's going to have over 1 billion people in Africa. There's going to be over 1 billion people, maybe 2 billion. I don't know. It's going to be a lot of people. That's a huge demographically. That's big business. As far as business wise, that's huge, because then you can start building up different industries, right? And you have a cheap, plentiful labor force. So investment, if the conditions are correct, as far as the investment climate, you can get the trillions of dollars can flow into Africa. But here's the thing: Black people do have some advantages. Okay, one of those advantages is sports, the sports industry. We should take that over. We should be more proactive about that particular industry, thinking about the different ways that we can be suppliers, not just players. We can be owners. We could be suppliers. We could be, we can have TV channels where we're broadcasting sports, or we can have YouTube channels where we're broadcasting sports, things like that. Thinking about it from different dimensions, different angles, right? Because we dominate sports as far as the players, and people associate athleticism with Black people, so that's kind of a competitive advantage. All right. Also, as far as hip hop, still very popular. Like, guys tell me that they go any country in the world they go to, as soon as they go to a hip hop club, it's over. Like, it's over. Like, they go to Eastern Europe, they go to a hip hop club, it's over. Right? Like, so hip hop is something that increases our soft power, like it or not. So how do we take better control of that to change the message a little bit, to make that less destructive, right? And more empowering, like it was when it first came out. How do we do that?
We need to own it. Then we need to take over and own the executives, the corporations, the messaging. We're not in that sphere of influence. We don't run hip hop like that, and that's the reason why they can make us look bad. Encourage these young Black men to say the N word after 5 lines. I'm in South Korea, right? They don't even blur out the N word. I'm in McDonald's. I'm in the mall. I'm hearing N word this, N word that. It's embarrassing, bruv. It's embarrassing, man.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
we gotta get things right, man. Go on, bro.
Yeah, I was just going to add to that. In jazz, during the period in the 40s, post World War II, you had jazz musicians who were in the military during that time stationed in Japan, and so they were training, actually building like different mini sessions with Japanese musicians so they could establish, a recording base in Japan. So you had, and also in Europe, but particularly in Japan, and you had a number of artists who would have stays in Japan, stints, married Japanese wives. There was one guy, Wayne Shorter, who just passed away. He was a saxophonist. His first wife was Japanese. Art Blakey, jazz drummer, Elvin Jones, they all had Japanese wives. They really had a strong impact in the Japanese culture during that period, which, precursor to hip hop was jazz. That was the popular music idiom that was of its day, and it still is. And if it wasn't for these black men, and also having also being accepted into the Japanese culture, and in other cultures, it really helped establish us in a musical sense. And so I think in hip hop, same thing applies, that we have a way of decorum and respect, and there are people that want to reach out to us, who want to have an understanding of what the culture is all about from a meaningful way, so that they do it with respect. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct, man. That's absolutely right. Yeah, it's important that we control the message. It's really important. Like it's crazy that we created hip hop and we don't control it. That's crazy to me. Like, how did we let that happen?
But I guarantee you, K-pop is being controlled by South Koreans. I mean, South Korea, K-pop is definitely being controlled by South Koreans. I mean, we gotta get things right, man, and that's what I can say, bro. All right, so
it's actually happening. It's happening in certain ways, because you take Nigeria, they have Nollywood. Nollywood is the third largest movie producing entity on the planet, and they started out with little handheld cameras, making basically home movies.
Mm.
So
let me tell.
in these countries, for us as Americans, we would look at these movies and be like, "That's trash," but in their country, with the technology that they have, they can create an industry. And see, now Hollywood picked up on Nollywood, and now they're getting the equipment to make good movies. Well, we can do that. We can be the ones that bring some of that equipment over and start them off, in other things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a good point there. And speaking on this soft power narrative, right? Being in control of your own image pays wonders. For example, K-pop, run by Korean people. What have they done? They have made Korean men desirable all around the world. Turkish women that I've met are into Korean dudes. That was never the case many years ago. Black women are deep out here in South Korea, looking for Korean dudes, and some of them are decent looking. I'm seeing white women here, Arabic women here. I mean, I'm seeing Eastern European women here, right? And I'm gonna break down the woman aspects in a different stream, but I will give you some intel here. Eastern European chicks in South Korea are checking for brothers, but another point, but that's for another stream. But even they're here, right? Going after Korean men. So the image that K-pop has done for Korean men has paid wonders. That's how powerful soft power is, man. There's levels to this, brothers. There's levels. That's what I'm all about. Image. Take control of our image. Be serious about how you come across, how you dress, what you say. And the Koreans know how important image is, to the point where women all around the world want a Korean dude. Guys all around the world want a South Korean chick.
Well,
go on, Fee. You want to say something, bro?
Well, I mean, we have to control our image, but we're not in control of our image whatsoever. That's the problem. What can we do? We got to keep on working on it, but we're not, it's something that Kevin Samuels always talks about it. We have to have our own platform. We have to own it, the entirety of it, and then we can go someplace with it. But until that happens, somebody else will be narrating our image.
Yes, indeed. All right, let's go for closing statements. Okay, I need to. I've got a long day ahead. So, Mr. G-Man, do you have any closing statements, bro?
Yeah, man. It's the most important thing to remember is think about the future. Think about your kids. Think about your financial status, what you're going to look like in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Okay? Think about that. Think about that deeply from every angle. Think about it. All right? Think about how much money you're making, how much money you're saving, how much money, where is it going? Track that shit. I mean, sorry.
Hey, language, please.
Track it, track it. And like what was said, like you have to remember, be optimistic, because as brothers, we do have some competitive advantages. We do. We just have to use those things. And we have to use our competitive advantages, and we have to start thinking about the future. Because if we're going to compete in the 21st century, things are going to have to get real very quickly, because things are moving very fast with various industries, with AI, all this stuff moving very fast. It's moving fast, and we need to think about the future. We really need to think about it. Okay, and that's all I got for now.
Thank you,
Thank you.
G-Man.
Yeah.
Much appreciated, brother. Much appreciated, bro. Thank you, brother, for your contributions. Mr. Sid, do you have any closing statement, bro?
Yeah, I just want to let brothers know that, I know it looks sometimes like it's almost impossible for Black people to come up beyond a certain level. But don't despair, because power always shifts. Matter of fact, it's shifting now. The power and the money is shifting from the West to the East and the global South. And that's the trend. And as Passport Bros, we're in technology. We're more able and more agile to be able to take advantage of these things. We don't have any set structures that we got to deal with. Have laptop will travel. So as the power shifts, as we see things happening in the world, we can go with the trend. So don't despair. Things can happen in the blink of an eye. The country that's the superpower now, the region of the world that's the superpower now, ain't going to be the superpower in the next 10 to 20 years. And we need to take advantage of the advantages that we have right now. That's it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Sid. Much appreciated, bro. Mr. Dak, do you have any closing statement?
Yeah, I would just, what you were talking about in the beginning with the Korean culture, and how they're able to, have, their image focus, and that's kind of shone down in our community. But that's something that we have to keep in mind, is our image and how the way we conduct ourselves. And if we want to have a better, brighter future, we have to start now in doing that. And that's all I have.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, bro. Much appreciated, Dak. Much appreciated, bro. Awesome. Mr. Theo Waff. Obviously, I see you on Monday, but any closing statements, bro?
It's been good. Glad to see you back on. I'm glad you went to South Korea. I'm glad you had this adventure, and you got to see something. And even this is the main influence that you had. I think that's just good. This needs to be passed on to brothers, and they need to understand this is where we need to be going. Really, this is how we need to be thinking. So, I'll see you. What 48 hours, something like that.
Yes,
indeed. We got a lot of stuff going on in our classes. So, again, I think we're going in the right direction. We just have to get a little bit more intense, a little bit more foresight, and we got to make the families. Oh no, I need a blonde. Okay, that's it for me. I'm kind of sick, so I'm gonna go to sleep. Talk to you guys later.
I get better for you, okay?
Yep. Bye bye.
Peace out, bro. Fantastic stream. Fantastic, brothers. Shout out to Mr. XXX with another bunch of X's. Thank you, bro, for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Blacks, in order to acquire power, need to exercise logic. All diaspora should support Black Americans to get reparations for slavery. Domino effects to all. I definitely agree with that. I am pro reparations for Black Americans. I believe that Black Americans are owned billions, if not trillions, in reparations, because when Black Americans were slaves, white people were working. So imagine being a slave, right? You're being forced to work for free for 500 years, and during those 500 years, white people are working for money. So they're making money, they're building wealth for 5 centuries. They pass it down to their people, right? And Black people have no money to pass down during slavery. That doesn't feel right with me, brother. That doesn't feel right with me in any shape or form. We need Black Americans to get those reparations, man. They are deserving of it. You know, other groups of people, they got reparations in America, but somehow Black Americans don't get reparations. That don't sit right with me, man. So appreciate the support, X. Thank you, bro. Fantastic. All right, brother. I hope you've enjoyed the live stream. I told you I'm going to give you value. I'm going to give you passport bro intel, financial intel. I'm going to give you woman intel, foreign woman intel. We're going to react to, craziness of modern women. You see me and Phil, we've been reacting to a bunch of videos, and we'll be reacting to more videos in our Passport Bro show this coming Monday. You can see, man, I'm going to give you, also RP content, building ourselves up content. You got the Patreon too. Going to give you more values, man. I look forward to having more discussions like this, man. Motivational, building ourselves up. We will probably do a crypto stream in the near future, and of course, looking forward to reacting to more crazy talk by modern Western women, where me and Phil will react to it. Okay, so I hope you've all enjoyed this live stream. Where's everyone listening in from? I have missed reacting to modern women, but we'll be back doing that this coming Monday. If you have any clips you want me and Phil to react to, send me a DM on Twitter, on Instagram of the clips, and me and Phil will react to it if possible. Okay, so in the last 2 minutes, where's everyone listening in from? What city? What state? If you want to come on the channel for an interview, send me a DM about what foreign country you've been to. I'm gonna bring you on here. Okay, let's get it cracking, man. We got brothers out here in NYC, New York, Maryland, England, Louisiana, the Deep South. Quit hating the South. We getting paper in the South. Virginia, another southern area. Shout out to our Virginia brothers. Yeah, brother. If you send me a DM, bro, on IG, send me any modern woman clips, any RP clips. Me and Phil will react to it on our Passport Bro show. Send me a DM on Instagram, okay? And me and Phil will react to it. Okay. Who's here? All right, last minute. And brothers, feel free to support any way you can. That'd be greatly appreciated. Do a lot of hard work for the channel. Y'all got to support, man. Mr. Big BN FGF, send me a DM on IG, bro. There you go, bro. There's my IG. Send me a DM on IG, bro. Mr. Big BF. All right. So, I'm gonna end the stream. All right, and I'm gonna see you brothers on the next potentially South Korean video, or at the very least, the passport show with me and Theo Waff the legend. Peace out, brothers, and I'm gonna see our brothers on the next video. Peace.